Good afternoon everyone and welcome to another Wednesday Westside Wellbeing with myself, Jamie. Today we're going to be doing circuits, so we're going to do 10 exercises in total. We're going to do 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off, and then we'll bring it all the way back to the top of those exercises. We're probably going to get about three rounds in today, but slight change. I'm not going to be doing the workout with you today. We've got Harriet joining us again today, and she's going to be doing the workout with you guys. So to start with, we're just going to have a little bit of a warm-up, and ultimately what I want you to do is we're just going to go into the hamstrings to start with. So I want you to set your feet just shoulder width apart, and from there you're just going to hinge forward at the hips, allowing that back to stay nice and straight, just as Harriet's doing here. By all means, feel free to take your hands and just slide them down the thighs towards the knees, and just take it into that depth, making sure you're keeping that back nice and straight throughout that whole stretch. Here we're just trying to stretch them out, we're not trying to hyperextend. And we're just going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So from here we're going to go into the front of the legs, into the quadriceps and the hip flexors. So we're going to take our right leg, as Harry has done here, and just lift that heel in towards that glute. We're just going to hold it there for a few moments. Just start to focus in on that breath. A nice big inhale, nice big exhale. But as you exhale, just squeeze that heel into that glute that little bit more. And we'll hold for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll release that leg and we'll switch it to the leg. So we're going to take the left leg, lift up through that heel, squeezing it in towards that glute. And again, focusing on that breath, nice big inhale, and as you exhale, think about just squeezing that heel in towards that glute. Just so we're really stretching out through the hip flexor and through that quad. And we're going to hold for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So we're just going to put some movement through the hips here. So we're going to go feet just outside shoulder width apart. Hands are going to go on hips, and all I want you to do is make a nice big circle through those hips, really trying to get a full rotation, full movement through those hips. So we just really start to activate through the base of the back, into the top of the glutes, the hips, the hip flexors, into that transverse abdominal area that sits nice and tight just below that belly button. We're going to go for 3 more rotations, and then what we need to do is take it in the opposite direction. Once you've done those 3 rotations, I want you to take your right arm across the chest and then just start to squeeze in behind that elbow joint with the opposite hand. Really just start to open up through that shoulder, so into that rear delt, the side delt, open up into the back, and we're going to hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. From there we're going to switch arms. We'll bring the left arm across the body and just start to squeeze in behind that elbow with that opposite hand. And we're going to hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. From here we're going to go into the triceps. So you want you to take one hand up above the head and bring that palm into the center of that spine as much as you can, and then just take the opposite hand and just start to squeeze down through the back of the elbow. You really start to stretch out through the tricep and the back of the arm. Again, still open up through the shoulders, staying up nice and tall. Try not to allow your head to be pushed down through that arm. Use the weight of the head to keep your head nice and upright, nice and straight through that spine. We'll hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. We'll switch to the other side. Again, really trying to work into that shoulder mobility. See how close you can get that hand into the center of your spine. So really working and stretching out through the elbow joint, but into that tricep muscle as well. And we're going to hold that for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. So from there, give everything a little shake up. Shake the legs, turn the arms. And the first movement we're going to go into some squat around the world. So what I want you to do, Mommy High and everyone else, is we're going to take a stance about shoulder width apart. You take your hands and they're going to meet behind the knees, and from there you're going to come into that squat position and then come all the way up and reach those arms all the way around. So we're really working into the legs, into the upper body. I'm going to set the trusty timer at 5 seconds. And when you're set, when you're ready, let's go. You're good. So really trying to work into that full range of movement through the hips, through the knees, getting nice and low. So we're really working into the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads. And again, just opening up through those shoulders. So we're working into that upper body at the same time. Good. As soon as we start to take anything above head height, really helps increase that heart rate. Increases the blood flow through the body. And in 3, 2, and 1. And it's 30 seconds. I'm going to take a bit of water on board. If you need any, let me know.
Okay, I got some.
And while we take a moment, these first few rounds, in the rest periods, we're just going to get a bit of mobility at the same time. So we're going to open up that stance nice and wide, and we're just going to drop one knee, come back central, and then take it to the other side. Good. We'll set ourselves for our second round of squat around the world, and in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Good. So we're really trying to get nice and deep into that squat movement. Really working through the full range of the muscle group. Good, strong work. Let's keep that there. Lovely stuff. Nice. And from there, we're going to move on to a slightly different exercise because we've done 2 rounds of this. So I apologise, we were meant to move on to that next exercise because we are doing circuits today. That's excellent. Nice. So what we're going to do from here, we're going to move into some squat floor touches. So we're going to keep that movement into the legs, but this time we're going to put all the emphasis through the quads, the hamstrings and the glutes. And you're just going to take one hand down towards the floor, trying to get through that full range of movement into the hips. We'll take a moment, nice big inhale, nice big exhale, and when you're set, when you're ready, in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Yeah, nice. So the first few movements we're just going to keep on the legs. We'll get a full body workout in today, working from the legs to the upper body, getting some core in at the same time, really just increasing that heart rate. Getting a bit of a lunchtime sweat on if you're joining us at lunchtime or any other time. Releasing some of that stress. Increasing that cardiovascular health, strength, balance, stability, flexibility. Last repetition and rest. Lovely stuff. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to go into some alternate lunges. So start with whichever leg you wish to. First, try and create nice right angles through both of those legs, making sure that we're working into the tiptoes on that back foot, and try and keep that knee off the ground as much as you can. We'll set ourselves 5 seconds, and in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Yeah, lovely stuff, nice. So here you can see how it's slowly brought our hand into the centre. That's what I like to do. If you need to put your hands onto your hips, whatever is going to give you that best sense of balance. And just find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. Really working through that full range of movement. Good, a few more repetitions on each side. Let's keep it there. Find that balance. Good, nice. Last little push. 3, 2, and 1, and rest.
Would you like to demo on the mat?
Good, I can do a demo on the mat. So the next one we're going to go into some squat jumps. So we've got our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to squat down and just use your arms and just elevate yourself off the ground slightly. So we're really working through the full range of movement, through the knees, through the ankles, into the hips, utilising the arms at the same time. So we're going to set ourselves, find that form, in 2, and 1, let's go. Good, let's keep that there, nice. Again, really make sure you're using those arms so we can really use that motion to help propel ourselves up and off the ground. We're really working into those fast twitch fibres, the strength of the ligaments and the tendons, as well as all the muscles within the legs, the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, into the base of that core. One more rep for 2, and 1, and rest. Good, lovely stuff. So from there we're going to move into the upper body slightly. So we're going to go into some push-ups. 3 options here. You can either do the full planked push-up, where we're working from the tiptoes, keeping the core nice and engaged, or bring it to the knees. If you're bringing it to the knees, make sure you're nice and long from the knees all the way up to the shoulders. And how we do that is if you just pitch your hips forwards, it gives you that space to make sure you're still working through the full range of the muscles. Nice how it's gone for the classic push-up. Strong work, good. Find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. There's absolutely no rush on this. Moving towards 15 seconds. Yeah, nice, trying to get as much depth into that press as we can. Go, probably 3 more repetitions. We'll go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Good, nice. So, from there we're going to go into something called a cat crawl. So we're going to come down onto our tiptoes, knees flared out to the side. And from here what you do is walk it out. We're going to press if we can and walk it back in. If you can't do the press, just pause and slowly walk it back in. And what I mean is by doing that press, that momentum actually helps bring that body back. So even if it's just a small bit of movement, let's go for it. Nice, some of this, you try and keep the hands nice and central. So we're really working through the shoulder joint, into the elbow joint, into the wrists. Good, and as we really start to transition into that upper body, we're still using the lower body, working on that full range of movement through the hips and through the knees. Good, last repetition. Let's go one more for 3, for 2, and for 1. Excellent stuff. Nice, so from there, we're going to move it into the core. So we're going to go onto the ground and we're going to go into a nice, steady, controlled cycle crunch. So you're taking the left elbow to the right knee, right elbow to the left knee. Really working across that stomach wall, so really activating into the abdominal muscles, into that stomach wall, into the obliques and such, and into the hip flexors as we extend one leg straight and bring one knee in towards the body. Good, nice, really good control. Let's keep that there. Good, slower, more controlled you can do this movement, the more contraction you get through that midriff, the more strength you're going to build through that core. Good, a few more repetitions. Let's keep it there for 3, 2, and 1. Nice, and we're going to keep it on the ground. So we're going to take a little moment. From here we're going to go into some heel touches. So all I want you to do is just lift the head, lift your chin into the chest, and you're going to keep those arms nice and close to the torso and just start to slide those hands down towards those heels. Harriet seems to be doing an extra set.
I was demoing for you.
5 seconds, and in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Good, nice. Again with that core exercise, those core movements, you can really slow it down, really get that full contraction. So here we're really working into those obliques, the lower obliques and the higher obliques to really help support that natural bout that we all possess and supporting into that rib cage. A few more repetitions on each side. Let's keep that there. Good, and in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. I'm going to keep it on the ground still.
Do you want me to demo?
You can demo, yeah. So we're going to go into some knee pull-ins. So what you do is take your legs straight out in front of you, lower as to the ground as possible, and all you're going to do from there is pull the knees in towards the chest and then extend them straight back out. But what I want you to do is bring your heels as low to the ground.
Yeah, but then my lower back comes off the mat.
What I want you to do is lift your chin into your chest so you can feel that contraction through the midriff. It should keep your lower back nice and controlled so we can really extend through. Feel free to put the hands down on the floor if you find it with a little bit of balance, a little bit of stability. Good, nice, good control everyone. Let's keep that there. And all I want you to do is just find that rhythm, find that tempo, really extend those legs out as far as we can, really bring them into you, contracting through those top 4 abdominal muscles into that stomach wall for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Round 1 completed. It was done. Feel free to take a little bit of water on board if you wish to. Do you want some of mine?
Of course not.
And we'll take probably 30 seconds more, and then we will jump back into that second set. So what we do now is we bring it all the way back round to the top, and we go through those movements again. So we go back into those squat around the world, so feet just outside shoulder width apart. Trying to meet those hands behind those knees. If it's a bit of a struggle, bring those feet nice and central, so it just gives you that little bit more room to work with if you need that mobility through the upper body. So, 5 seconds, and let's go again. So, into our second set of squat around the world in 3, 2, and 1, and let's go. Good, nice, good work. And again, find that speed. If you want to increase that intensity a bit, just make that movement a little bit quicker, just so we can really increase that heart rate a little bit more. Really burn those few extra calories, but make sure you keep that form and function the same. Goes all the way around. Last repetition of 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff, nice. So from here, we go into those squat floor touches. But on this second round, what I want you to do, if you can, is close the fists and see if you can bring your knuckles all the way down to the ground. All the hips should feel a little bit looser now off that first set of exercises. And again, if that feels a little bit too much, don't be afraid to bring it back just to the fingertips. And in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good. So what I want you to do is just alternate from hand to hand. Again, so this time we're really starting to get a little bit deeper into that squat movement. So we're really getting into the depths of where those muscles join into the hips and the joints. Really working into the ligaments and tendons as well as those muscle groups. Good, a few more repetitions. We're going for 3, for 2, and for 1. So we move back into those alternate lunges. And again, just making sure we're working through the tiptoes on the back foot, trying to create those right angles with both legs, and just try and keep that knee just off the top of the surface, so we're keeping all that tension and movement within those legs. And we'll set ourselves in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, lovely stuff. Nice. So really good strength movement here for the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes, the hip flexors. It really helps work on that balance and stability as well, with that constant shift and movement from one side to the other. Make sure that you've got that gauge right of that stride pattern, so you're really getting into that full movement. Good. Maybe one more repetition on each side. So we'll go for 3, 2, and 1. Nice, take a moment, 30 seconds. So from here, we're going to move into our cat crawls again. So we're on our tiptoes, knees flared out to the side. From here, we're going to walk it all the way out, press if we can, and walk it back in. And again, same as before, if we can't do that press, just try and get a little bit of movement through that elbow joint to help take your body weight back in towards that starting position. We'll set ourselves in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, nice, really good control. And here with the cat crawl, you can vary into that push-up. So if you bring your hands that little bit narrower together, shoulder width apart, we can transition the power more into the triceps and the chest, and you can alternate this on each repetition. You can do a few on each side just to make sure we're really working into that upper body as well. And rest, good, lovely stuff. So from there, we go back into our push-ups. So we've got the classic plank push-up, or we can bring it to the knees. Just make sure that you're dropping those hips forward, so you're creating that nice straight line from the knees up to the shoulders. And if you need a little bit more support, you can drop those toes back down onto the ground as well. So a second set, how it's going from the knees, nice and flush. You can see that straight line from the shoulders all the way down to the knees. So really working into that core at the same time, as well as working into the triceps, the chest muscles, into the rear of the shoulders, to the rear delts and the traps as we lower ourselves down. Good, strong work, moving towards 10 seconds. A few more repetitions. Nice to see that there. We'll go for 5, and for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Nice. Excellent. So, we're going to try something slightly different in the mix this time. Now we're going to go into a side squat. So we're going to keep feet nice and central. You're going to take it out to one side, we'll squat down and back into it. What I need to do is try and make sure you keep that torso nice and central as you go out into that squat position. In 3, 2, and 1. Good, so that way we can be really working through all the joints evenly, all the muscle groups evenly, taking the pressure off the lower back at the same time, and just working to those natural ergonomics of the body. Good, strong work, let's keep that there. Moving towards 10 seconds, a few more repetitions everyone. Good work, nice. Last little push for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff, we're going to take it back down to the ground. And we're going to go into the core. But this time what I want you to do is take your hands straight back behind your head. You're going to bring the hands up towards the thighs and you're just going to slide your thighs up towards the top of the knees. Good. Just feeling that contraction all the way through that midriff. We're not trying to lift the torso off the ground. We're making sure all the emphasis is going through those stomach muscles. Let's go for it. Good, nice, good control. From here, what you're going to do as you start to lift the chin into the chest, just start to slide those hands up towards the top of the knees. And back down, good, nice and steady, nice and controlled. Good, let's keep that there. A few more repetitions, moving towards the last few seconds. Yeah, we're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice, we're going to keep it down on the ground, and this time what I want you to do is we're going to go into an alternate knee drive. So you're going to pull one knee in and take the other knee out. Here I suggest take your hands down by your side just to make sure it gives you a nice bit of balance. Keep that lower back nice and flush on the floor. Lift that chin into the chest if you want to get more of a contraction through that midriff. We're going to go for 3, 2, and 1. Good, again, nice and steady, nice and controlled. So we're really working into the base of that core, building into that natural bow that we all possess. Working through each hip flexor separately and into the mobility of each hip as we drive one out and bring one forwards. Good, moving towards 10 seconds. Last push, let's keep that there everyone. A few more repetitions. Good, and in 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Nice, take a moment. So we're going to keep it down on the ground still. We're going to go into our cycle crunches again. So second, so bring left elbow to the right knee, just taking it nice and steady, nice and controlled. Trying to get as much rotation through the torso as possible. We've got just under 10 seconds, so focus back in that breath. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. And in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Good, so here really working across the abdominal muscles, through the stomach wall, into the obliques and the hip flexors. Good, nice and steady, nice and controlled everyone. Let's keep that there. Moving towards 10 seconds. Last push. 2 more repetitions on each side. Then we're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lovely stuff. Nice. So we're going to make our way back up onto the ground. And this one, and that's when we're going to go into 30 seconds on the spot jog.
Okay.
And what we're going to do as we work through the time, we're going to increase that intensity slightly. I'm going to take a little bit of water on board myself. Thirsty work, watching you all work out. 5 seconds, and in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Nice how it's made a quick start. Let's see if she can maintain that speed throughout the whole 30 seconds. Yeah, nice, 10 seconds gone, let's keep that there. Nice fast feet, nice fast arms. Good, less than 15 seconds to go. Good, we're going to move to the last 10 seconds and see if we can increase that speed a touch. Good, let's keep it there. We're going to go for 5, and in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Nice. Good work. Take a moment, take a little water on board, and from there we'll go into our third round. So here we're just going to focus back in on that breath for a moment. Nice big inhales, nice big exhales. If you want to close your eyes, feel free to. Just really focus in on that body. Just see how it's all feeling. If you've released some of that stress, feeling a little bit looser, a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit sweatier too. And it will take 20 more seconds or so, and then we're going to move into our third round. So, you set?
Yeah,
You
ready?
Ready? All ready? Let's go for it. So, we're going to go back into the squat around the worlds again. Again, either feet out nice and wide, if you need to bring it a little bit narrower. On this one, let's bring it to a nice narrow stance. So this way we're just working into the legs, slightly different, so we're getting into the quadriceps. From a slightly different angle, in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, so by keeping that stance nice and narrow, we're still putting the emphasis on the quadriceps, but we actually take the emphasis more to the outside of the quadriceps and into the abductor muscles that sit on the outside of the thighs that help support from the hip down to the knee. Good, still taking those hands up and overhead, so we're keeping that heart rate nice and high. Good, last push, moving towards 5 seconds. And in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. So, from there, we go into squat floor touches, but this time on the third set, I want you to take it out nice and wide as you can. So all that movement is pretty much coming from the knees and just sinking those hips down towards the ground. You might not reach the ground this time, that's not a problem. But again, as we took the around the worlds narrow, we're going to take the squat floor touches a little bit wider. So this way we're putting a lot more emphasis through the adductors, which run on the inside of the thighs. It really helps support between the hamstring and the quadricep muscle from the inside of the hip down towards the knee. Good, and by going into this stance, we're really opening out into those glutes at the same time, getting more into the glute minimus that runs down the base of the spine, along the base of the spine. Good, and in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Good. So from here, we're going to move into our alternate lunges. And this time, what I'm going to do, as you lunge down, I want you to drive that foot forward. But instead of alternating, we're going to do 5 on one side, we'll switch, and then go 5 on the other side. So this time, so we're really starting to open up through that hip by driving that leg forward, really working into that hip mobility. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Yeah, nice. 2, go. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We'll switch the legs so that opposite leg goes back. We drive that forward. Good. Here, really testing the balance and stability as we work on that strength and flexibility at the same time. 3 more seconds for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Good, 30 seconds, nice. So, from there, we've been doing cat crawls. This time we're going to go into a bear crawl. So we'll start standing, we'll take it out, we'll walk all the way out, press, walk it back in, and come back upright, and then we take it back down to the ground again. So we're just elevating this movement slightly, so we're not staying down on the ground, working through those knees, ankles and hip joints and the muscles that support all of those to come back upright. Lovely stuff, nice. And we take it down, we walk it out, we press if we can. If you can't press, just walk it straight back in, but try and give a little bit of movement. just to allow yourself to generate that force to bring those hands back towards the feet before we stand up. Right, nice, good work. One more repetition. And in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Nice, good work. So, from there, we're going to go into our push-ups again. But this time, everyone's going to bring the hands into shoulder width apart and really think about tucking those elbows nice and tight into that torso, so the torso is just slipping between the elbows. Again, just making sure that we're putting the emphasis on the triceps here more than the pectoral muscles this time. So we're just switching the intensity through that upper body by just changing that form slightly. Good, nice, really strong work. This one, take your time, there's no rush. Try and make sure you can keep those elbows as tucked as tightly into that torso as you can. So that torso just slips just between the elbows. Good, maybe 2 more repetitions. And in 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Good, lovely stuff. So, from there, we're going to keep it on the ground. But we're going to go into some knee drives. So we're not going to be lying down just yet. So we're going to, hands are going to shoulder width apart. And you come out into a plank position. And you're going to drive one knee into the centre line of the body at a time. Good. Well, let's keep that there. And I'm going to give you a slight variation for the next set. And let's go. Good. So let's give this a go, everyone. Let's see if we can do it from that plank position. Just driving those knees into that centre line of the body, so we're really contracting through those abdominal muscles into the base of the core, activating through that stomach wall. Good, strong work. Let's keep that there. Last few seconds. Moving towards 10. Good, nice. Few more repetitions on each side. 5 seconds. And in 3, 2, and 1. Good. So we're going to do a slight different variation of those knee drives, where we're going to come onto our knees. Hands are still going to be shoulder width apart. Make sure you're working through the tiptoes. You're going to squeeze yourself back, drive yourself forwards. We're still getting that momentum through the body into those abdominal muscles, but we're just working again into the mobility of the hips, into the shoulders at the same time. In 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Lovely stuff, nice control. Good, working through that full range of movement and just allowing that momentum that you're creating through that motion to have drive one knee forward. You're really stretching into the lower back, into the glute, driving up into the core, mobilizing through the elbows for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Good. So, from there, we're going to take it to the back. And what we're going to do now is I want you to try, you're going to take your legs out in front of you and you're going to create a figure of 8 on its sides with those feet. Might be quite tricky, give it a go, see how it feels. Each time you come back down to the centre, if you need to rest your feet onto the floor for a moment, no problem at all. Again, really working into the base of the core here. Definitely suggest as how it is, lift your chin into your chest. So you're tucking that lower back into the ground, keeping contracted through those upper abdominal muscles as we really work into the base of that core. Good, this is one of those that looks quite simple, but it's really effective. Good, last few seconds. It's there, and in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Good. So, from here, we're going to go back into some heel touches again. So we're just going to put the emphasis back into those oblique muscles. We're just moving towards 10 seconds. So again, just focusing on that breath. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. We'll set ourselves, we'll lift the chin into the chest. And in 3, 2, and 1, we're just going to keep those arms nice and close to the torso. Sliding from side to side again, really activating through those oblique muscles that support the rib cage, support into that core. Again, find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. Really focused exercise, which just gives us the opportunity to bring that heart rate down just a touch. Nice in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Lovely stuff. So we're going to bring it back up onto our feet, and we're going to go into another round of squat jumps. Again, make sure we're using those hands to drive that momentum to help generate that power, to get yourself off the ground. Doesn't have to be loads. Again, we'll be doing this for 30 seconds as always, so just find a rhythm, take your time, and as you start to work through the repetitions, you might be able to take it a little bit higher in that jump. Good, nice strong work. And again, really trying to get into the depth of those squats. So we're really keeping the fatigue on those larger muscle groups, but we're really working into the mobility and strength of the joints, of the hips, knees and ankles at the same time. Squeezing off the floor with those tiptoes, working into those calves. Keeping the blood circulating for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Nice. Strong work.
Are we done?
Not yet.
Ugh.
Not yet. We've got one more round to go. One more round. Are you all feeling like that today? That's why I decided not to do this workout, really. So we're going to take 30 seconds, then we're going to jump back into our final round. We'll do 10 more exercises. Again, same process, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, last push. We're getting there. So this time we're going to start with the side to side squats. So keeping that stance nice and narrow as we start, and then just taking one leg out to the side into that squat movement. That heart rate's going to be increased by now. Last push, last 10 minutes. Good, strong work. Nice, as always, find a rhythm, find a tempo that works for you. Keep that torso nice and central through that hip line when you're in that squat position. So making sure that we're not putting any unnecessary pressure on the lower back or any of the joints, really working through the strength, excuse me, evenly. Last repetition for 3, 2, and 1. There it is, good, nice. So, from here, we're going to do, for the next 2 rounds, we're going to do the same movement but on each side. So, we'll start with the left leg as our standing leg, and from here you're going to allow the right hand and the right foot to come back behind. I thought I was going to touch the wall. And you're just hinging through the hip and then driving the knee up at the end. 5 seconds for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, lovely stuff. And then drive that knee all the way through. So here, really working on the strength of that static leg. You'll start to feel that quads and glute and hamstring start to burn slightly. Working through the mobility, range of movement through the hips. Good, really testing and working and strengthening that stability and that balance for 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff. We'll take 30 seconds, then we'll switch it on to the other leg. So this time our right leg will be our standing leg. Left arm and left leg is going to go back behind us as you pivot through those hips. And moving towards 10 seconds. If you need to take a bit of water on board, do so. And we'll set ourselves, because we're going to go in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, nice and steady, nice and controlled. See if you can keep that balance throughout that full movement. Nice, good work everyone, let's keep that there. Good, what you'll find now, the standing leg might start to set in a little bit. You start to feel that burn into that quad. Good, nice. Last repetition for 3, 2, and 1. And rest. Good work. So here, what I'm going to do is we're basically going to go into a RDL, Romanian deadlift. So what I want you to do is imagine you're holding some really heavy weights, feet are shoulder width apart, and you can imagine your hips going back in a straight line, allowing for that natural bend in the knee to come, keeping all the emphasis through those hamstrings. Drive up, push those hips forward and really squeeze into those glutes. Again, putting a lot of emphasis on the hamstrings into the glutes. Keep those fists nice and tight. Imagine you're holding a big old set of dumbbells. Again, that way you can really start to activate through the forearms and strengthen the ligaments and tendons in the elbow joint at the same time, while just keeping those fists nice and clenched. Few more repetitions, moving towards 5 seconds, and in 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff. So we're going to move into the upper body again. 2 options here. So we're going to go hands to elbows. So we're going to come into the plank position. You're going to bring it down to both elbows and then walk it back up onto both hands. I appreciate if that feels a little bit too much. Bring it to the knees, the same as the push-up. Drop those hips and just slowly start to work through that movement. Let's push. Good, nice, strong work. Again, absolutely no rush for this one. We're doing it for 30 seconds. So you will start to feel that burn and fatigue. Here we're working into the elbows and the shoulder joints, but really using the arm muscles and those chest muscles into the shoulders at the same time. Good, let's keep that there. That's a little push, 5 seconds, and in 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Lovely stuff. So, 6 more exercises to go on, 6 more exercises. So from here, we're going to go into a classic push-up again. So we're going to take the arms nice and wide. And again, you can either go for that full planked press-up position or bring it into the knees. Just again, remember, if you bring it to the knees, sink those hips so you've got a nice straight line from the shoulders all the way down to the knees. That's how it has here. And in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, nice, really working through that full range. Really trying to take that chest as low towards the ground as we can. So again, we're really working through those pectoral muscles into the triceps. As we come down into that press, really contracting through the rear delts into the traps, engaging through our scapula. And last repetition for 3, 2, and 1. Lovely stuff. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. Ready, what I mean?
Good, nice work. So from here, we're going to go into cat crawls. And so we'll be on our tiptoes, knees flared out to the sides. We're going to keep the emphasis in the upper body, but we're going to make sure that we're still working into those legs at the same time. You got 8 seconds. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. We'll set ourselves for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, nice and steady, nice and controlled. Try and keep those hands nice and central. So you're really working through the mobility of the shoulder, keeping everything where it needs to be. Getting that press at the end if we can, or just that slight movement just to help generate that power to bring yourself back into that starting position. And again, here puts a lot of emphasis through the quads. You might start to feel that burn, almost there, and rest. Nice. So we're going to take it down to the ground.
Onto the back.
Onto the back. We're going to go into the core again. So this time what I want us to do is we're going to extend the arms behind the head and we're going to extend the legs out in front of us. And we're going to do a full crunch. So as you bring the knees into the chest, I want you to bring your arms in towards the knees.
Like this or like this?
First variation. Good, nice. Take it all out. Bring it all back in again. Good, nice. And here, if you can lift that chin into the chest, you can get that full contraction through the midriff. At any point, if you need to drop those heels to the ground, no problem at all, because you'll still be keeping that length through the torso, so you'll be expanding through that stomach wall, and just helps relieve a little bit of tension. Good, nice. A few more repetitions, moving towards 5 seconds. Good, we're going to go for 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Good. 2 more rounds to go. Almost there. Strong work, everyone. I know it's warm today, a little bit humid. So From here, what we're going to do, similar to that, but this time going to be nice and long. You're going to bring one knee in, take it all out. You bring the other knee in, take it all out. Bring both knees in and take it all out. So we'll set ourselves in 3 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good. So we go single knee, and double knee. Good. Again, this one really find a rhythm, find a tempo for you. You're really working through the full range of movement, through the abdominals, so working into the abdominals, into the transverse area below the belly button, across that, into that stomach wall, contracting through the obliques. Almost there. We're going to go for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice. I love the hands. In and out. So, take a moment. We've got one more round to go. One last push. So, really to finish everything off in the core, we're going to go back into those controlled cycle crunches again. Again, we're putting a lot of emphasis on the core in this final round. We're really lengthening, really contracting. A little bit of everything in between. Last push, last 30 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good. So again, trying to get that rotation through that core. So you're really working through those oblique muscles across that stomach wall. Contracting through those abdominals on that diagonal. Good, nice, moving towards 10 seconds. A few more repetitions on each side. Almost there, strong work everyone. Last push. We go for 5, and in 3, 2, and 1, and finish. And rest. Nice. Good work. Smashed it. Oh, smashed it. Fantastic. Good work, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for another Wednesday Westside Wellbeing with myself, Jamie, and Harriet. Have a fantastic rest of your afternoon or evening or morning, depending on when you've joined us, and we will see you soon. Catch you later. Bye-bye. Good work, babe.